Guys, welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As you come into the room, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and be sure to share this on your Twitter or your TikTok, or send it to your favorite family member. It's lunchtime. Let's take a lunch break and talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. You know we do a weekly recap here on the channel. Let's get those likes up. I will be dropping the call-in link so you guys can share your thoughts. We're also live on multiple platforms. Hey, TikTok. We're also live on Twitch and Twitter at TheKempire and Kempire Daily. And we are on Facebook. If you guys haven't subscribed to my Facebook or liked me on Facebook, head on over to TheKempire and Kempire Daily. Like those both pages and support. Happy holidays to all that are celebrating. And even if you are not, we are still sending you season's greetings for the season. Let's get into some holiday music, because look, we are in Salt Lake City. They're ready. They got the snow. And Jen Shah in this wig. Jen Shah in this wig. We're going to talk all about it. Let's get festive. Guys, welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. Just a couple of updates before we get into this Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap. The Real Housewives of New Jersey Season 12 trailer has dropped. I posted a quick thoughts on it on my TikTok, and this is why you have to follow me on other platforms, because you just never know where I'm going to drop information first. I've watched the trailer for the Real Housewives of New Jersey not reunion. Oh my gosh. I'm already at the reunion. Season 12 trailer. And look, we got battles between Teresa and Margaret, which we heard about. We have battles between Jackie and Black Dolores. We have battles between, of course, Melissa Gorga and Jennifer Aiden. Look, we're getting all kinds of different moments. We will go live later so you guys can call in and share your thoughts on the Real Housewives of New Jersey trailer for season 12. But I don't think we have a lot. And I think that's part of the reason why they were hyping it up so much in all of these interviews and why it was pushed back. We're also hearing other news about friend ofs, and I heard rumor on the street was that we were going to get a 7th housewife. We didn't even see the 7th housewife. We didn't see her at all in this trailer. At least I don't recall seeing her. I only watched it once, and if she wasn't that major. Either way, as I said to you before, we will go live so you guys have an opportunity to talk about that later on this afternoon. I do want to hear what you guys think about this trailer, but based on what I saw, not much there. Speaking of the housewives, we also just dropped another video talking about Noella Bergener. You know, the Real Housewives of Orange County's newest housewife, talking about how her husband hasn't seen their son since he filed for divorce in Puerto Rico. Be sure to check out that video as well if you haven't already. Let's get into this recap because this was a monster of an episode. If you are not watching the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, you are missing out. For me, the season really started with Jen Shah getting arrested. And to be honest with you, it has nothing to do with Jen Shah getting arrested. It's everything that has played out since then. Hold on, y'all. Winter season chap lips, can't play with that. You know, always keep a little. I just saw Regina King with the Vaseline commercial. I said, damn, we got Vaseline commercials then? It works though. Look. Let's get into this. At the top of this episode, Brooks is 20-something years old, so he can get this fever too. He's on the show. Brooks coming into this scene with sunglasses on inside the house. I'm designing a new blazer. And it's going to have my Brooks, label across the front. Based off the design, I think he needs to stop. I'm just saying. Oh, I should keep the snow going because we are in Salt Lake City. And one of the great things about Salt Lake City that we get, there's a few different great things about Salt Lake City. We are getting a Mormon cult situation. We're getting a Pentecostal Mary Cosby cult situation. We are getting moments. What the hell? The crater? First of all, earlier in the season, we got Heather and Jen going to that place it seemed like it was, what do you call it? With all the snow and the little tunnels and things like that. I'm like, I need to go to Salt Lake City. It seems like a winter wonderland. And I don't love snow like that. But if you really want to go and get a winter wonderland, it looks like we need to go to Salt Lake City. And shout out to one of my friends went to Salt Lake City and took a picture right in front of Meredith Marks' store. And to be honest with you, it was unimpressive. Sorry. Okay. What? Meredith? What? Why? What did I say? Mind you, she posted this before I even said it. Oh, because I said about Brooks. Oh, I don't care. Brooks is on the show. And honestly, I haven't been one of those people that are like, oh my God, I can't stand Brooks. But when he came into that scene with his sunglasses on in the house, talking about, I'm designing a blazer. Anyways, we'll move off of Brooks because we didn't get a lot of Brooks, thankfully. But the ladies, Jenny, Lisa, and Meredith got together and they wanted to have a girls' night so they can talk about their husbands. Jenny, this sister-wife conversation, this storyline should be done. I thought we were done. I thought we had moved on. The fact that you're bringing this up, I don't believe you. I think you're lying. However, I do appreciate you bringing to us in this show early in the season that I didn't know the Vietnamese culture had polygamy in it. I mean, a lot of cultures have it, but I didn't know. I didn't really know because I thought because she's in Utah, that's why the husband was bringing that up. No. apparently that is within their culture. That was in with the Dewey's family as well. I don't believe the storyline though, Jenny. I don't believe the storyline. Please stop it. Look, stop it. Like, stop it. Sorry. Exactly. Jack says, yes, the sister wife talk is old. I'm like, the fact that she brought this up again when she's hanging, first of all, this girl's situation, this whole, oh, let's have fun and drinks, it wasn't fun. I'd much rather watch Jen Shah and her criminal behavior, allegedly, and Heather, just the two of them back and forth, than watch Meredith, Lisa, and Jenny drink and try on wigs. That was such a waste of my time. I could have did without that, and they probably could have shortened the episode. I'm sorry, Meredith. I'm not sorry, Meredith. Actually, Meredith was the least annoying in this particular situation. Jenny and the whole sister wife talk, I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. Let's move on, because that's how over it I am. Because she's like, oh, let me try on different wigs. And I believe at this point in our culture, in our history, in when it comes to fashion, I'm not surprised when a woman has a wig in their closet. Anyways, let's move on, because I don't want to waste time on them. Jen Shah and Lisa finally meet up. Jen Shah doesn't know why Lisa has turned on her. But before Jen meets up with Lisa, she calls Heather. And again, I really feel like no matter how you feel about Jen Shah and her alleged illegal activities, I can appreciate Heather's ride or die friendship. However, I keep warning you, Heather, this is not a woman you want to be friends with. Hold on, wait, look. Oh, no, not that picture. Not that picture. This one. No, not that one either. Oh, where's my picture? Her wig won't even stay on her head. Her wig doesn't even trust her. Her wig doesn't even trust her. I can't trust a woman like this. Not with that wig. What in the Tammy Faye? What is going on? I have to give it to her. I saw a new photo of Jen Shah. Whoever's doing the work this season, good work. She doesn't look as harsh. So she has a conversation. Jen Shah has a conversation with Heather in her car, and she says, "Girl, I'm driving myself because Stu Chains used to drive her around, or her other assistant." I like the friendship between Heather and Jen. I'm a straight shooter. Pow, 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 pow. She might be stealing from elderly people, but in the same breath, I like the friendship she has with Heather. Heather really is a ride or die. And Heather, girl, watch your back. So Jen and Lisa finally have a conversation. And one thing I can agree with Elisa about is that she says, what was the thing that she says? Hold on. She says, a real friend would process a situation before reaching out. And I can agree with that, because a fake friend would be like, girl, I'm going to have your back, and not really have your back. And I don't think that's the case with Heather. But I also don't think that Lisa is a real friend. I don't think that Lisa Barlow is real, to be honest with you. But we said that, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it, because she's not my friend. But this new friendship with Jen Shah, according to Jen, they used to talk all the time, like every day for 3 hours on the phone. There are only a small handful of people I can talk on the phone with for 3 hours. And I can't recall the last time I spent 3 hours on the phone. I'm busy. 3 hours on the phone with someone. And look, I don't doubt that they became close. But girl, this is not years of friendship. I know Jen expected her to have her back, to be there for her. Jen has revealed that because of all of this, not just her friends have turned on her, even some family members that she's taking care of. Sidebar, we find out, you know how Erica Jane says she spent like $40,000 a month on glam? According to Saint Jen Shah, she invited friends and family to come live in Utah, and she employed them, and she was paying in the upwards of $50,000 a month for her family. $50,000 a month. But we'll get back to that. The conversation between Jen and Lisa, to me, again, another scene that was necessary because we wanted to see how do they get back to a better place. And of course, Lisa makes everything about her and blah, 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 blah. I'm not that interested in that conversation that they had because I don't feel like it's real. The conversation that Jen Shah had with Heather, that was more interesting to me. And this is where reality TV producers and the big wigs should understand. Yes, I understand you have to pre-produce certain moments, but when you can have real moments like we had with Jen Shah and Heather, because I really believe that's a real friendship, or at least on Heather's side, that was a more interesting conversation than we got with Jen and Lisa, because I just felt like it was two fake friends trying to have a moment for television. And again, we get Jen Shah crying with no tears. And Jen, I don't feel sorry for you. Anyways, Heather, speaking of Heather's brother makes an appearance. Heather is setting up this book so perfectly. I've never seen a housewife set up a book so perfectly. Bad Mormon that she's working on that's supposed to come out. The way you can't say that Heather does not have a storyline. Heather Gay has a storyline. And her storyline is her leaving the religion or cult. According to her brother, he called it a cult this episode. She set this up so perfectly. Now I'm really interested because there are so many layers to what's going on with Heather, not only within her own marriage, but within her own family. Her brother just left the church. Mo says, and I'm sure you're referring to Jen Shah, I'm sure her family doesn't appreciate being portrayed as a charity case on TV either. That's not going to help, right? Because she made it seem like but maybe she has. But how did you do that? Maybe they're mad at you for making them a liability or doing something that they didn't understand, and now they don't have employment, allegedly. Mikey in my chat says that wig was unforgivable. KK, calm down. I hear way too many of these housewives are getting spinoffs. Not yet. I definitely think she's going to do really well with this book. Omar, what's going on? One of our 12 Days of Christmas winners. I love seeing Jen and Coach Shaw practicing Ramadan like Mariah from Married to Medicine did. I did too. And this is what I love about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is because we get such variety in women, in color, in cultures, and religions. We don't have that in other cities on this franchise. However, even though we got this moment, look, I got to go back to this moment. I don't know why she pulled this one out. I don't know why she pulled this wig out. Even though we had this moment and they had a conversation, Coach Shaw, Coordinator Shaw, and he is standing by his woman. Look, I appreciate them celebrating and showing Ramadan on the show. It just felt a little, let's make Jen Shah look another way. She wants to utilize this platform to change the public perception of her as not being this woman that's crazy about money and crazy about fashion and ill-gotten means. It just feels a little too put on, and we're getting a lot of that from her now that she's been arrested in the season. And I don't like the use of religion in that way. I believe it's authentic for Coordinator Shaw. I just don't feel like it's authentic for Jen Shah. They end up having a conversation, and we're starting to see more of Coordinator Shaw than we have all season or last season. And they talk about downsizing their life because of the millions of dollars that she's had to retain for her attorneys. And he's like, we're going to fight this. Do y'all believe? I think he has to stand by. Look, they have 2 kids together. So Coordinator Shaw is going to stand behind her no matter what because of the kids. I don't think it's because of Jen Shah, to be honest with you. But that wig, I think the biggest crime that she's ever committed was that wig, right? The biggest crime was that wig. Let's be honest. Yeah, someone says, have you seen her a wedding photo? Have you seen any photos from her from back in the day? She does not look the same. But I'll give it to her. She's looking better this season. I don't know. She probably stopped going to Beauty Lab and is getting some good works. Sorry, Heather. She looks a lot better this season. Is she still going to Beauty Lab? Oh goodness. Guys, it's the holidays. You know, one of my favorite things is the coldest water bottle. It keeps your water cold for 36 plus hours. You can get your bottles engraved. Look, you can get your bottles engraved like this. We've been partnering with the coldest water bottle for almost a year now. It's one of my favorite water bottles. It comes in multiple sizes, multiple colors, and they're coming out with colors and designs all the time. But you don't just get water bottles on their website. There's all kinds of really great other cups and merchandise there. Get 10% off when you use the discount code KEMP10. That's KEMP10. We already gave out 3 coldest water bottles for our 12 days of Christmas. So congratulations to everyone that has won one. And I know it's going to change your life because I love my coldest water bottle. Get one today. More information is available in the description of this video. Okay. You know, I had to sip for a second. Backtracking. Heather. Elephant brain. Heather's brother lives in Switzerland. Look, first of all, I think she says she's in the middle of 6. I'm the youngest of 6. We got a lot in common, Heather. And I was also part of, never mind. Heather's brother opens up about why he decided to leave the church and why he was so hurt by Heather when he had written to her and she never responded to him. We're getting a lot of moments with Heather and her family this season. I love it. This is the 3rd time we've seen a family member in a sit-down conversation about leaving the Mormon religion. Her brother calls the Mormon religion a cult. That's his words. I'm not going to weigh in on people's religion. But this is what he says on the show. It was a really interesting conversation about him doing research on the church and then Heather talking about how that was, you're not supposed to do that in Mormon religion. You're not supposed to dig or read anything that's contradictory, which is already a big sign that maybe I'm in the wrong religion. So I thought that was interesting when he said that he did some research on one of the founders and the founder had married a 14-year-old. He also said that he felt like he was a bad parent for raising his kids within this. He literally just left the religion because she says during the pandemic, her brother was still doing Zoom services and very much into the religion. Again, I feel as if Heather is setting herself up for the best book. First of all, I love the title, Bad Mormon, and she's already giving us a little breadcrumbs of what we can expect in the book. I'm sure she's going to have conversations with her brother who just left, her niece, her sister. It's so interesting. Heather, I think, no one can say that Heather does not have a storyline. Heather has a storyline of her own, but she also has everything else that's going on with the ladies. Sidebar, guys, I know you guys love my collaborations with FemTarot. We just did a Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reading for people like Mary Cosby, Jen Shah, and we talked a little bit about Heather as well. So be sure to check out FemTarot's YouTube channel. The video is available now. And don't forget to drop your crowns and elephants in the chat so she knows that I sent you. Okay? All right. Fox Ripley. Why is Whitney so afraid of Mary, the cult leader? Because of what she spoke to Cameron. May he rest in peace. She had a 3-hour conversation with Cameron, so much so when the producer asked her in her confessional, why won't you talk about, what Cameron said to you? And she says, for the safety of my family. For the safety of my family. Thank you so much, Boxster Girl. Yeah, we had a really great time, great conversation. And it's an update because we did an original Jen Shah FemTarot reading. You should check that one out as well. So it's kind of good to compare them. But before we get to everything that happens at the Fa lunch, we'll get to that. So we talked about Jen and the family celebrating Ramadan. We talked about the conversation that she has with Coordinator Shah. And then we also find out that she spends $50,000 a month just on supporting her family. And not her immediate family, her other family. Rasani, we talked a little bit about New Jersey at the top. We will be going live later today after everyone's gotten an opportunity to watch the Real Housewives of New Jersey season 12 trailer. So we will be going live a little bit later on to talk about it. Kim, yes, she says that she spent $50K a month, just not her immediate family, just employing family that she invited to come to Salt Lake City to work. This is what she says. Lisa and Whitney go to do paddleboard yoga. This is the second time that we've seen these housewives do paddleboard yoga. Remember, we saw Lisa Rinna and Crystal Kung Minkoff do it on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I don't want to do it, to be honest, because I much rather do my yoga. I don't have a lot of great balance when I do yoga on flat ground. Never mind on a paddleboard in the water. I barely can swim. But I can imagine that being great for building your core strength, and that is so vital for your health and for strength in general. So I can see that. But here's the great thing about Salt Lake City. They didn't just do this in a pool. They went to a damn crater. They went to a crater to do paddleboard yoga. Mind you, these girls do not like each other, and they are trying their bestest to have moments. They understand the assignment. They're like, let's go have a conversation. I don't like you, but let's go have the conversation. They have the conversation. They talk about, Whitney reveals to Lisa some of the things that Cameron told her, and they talk a little bit about Mary. They also talk about what happened in Vail. Okay. I was just distracted that they were in a crater having this conversation. Tina, I think you're referring to Cameron. Yeah, he not just a couple months ago. I believe he passed away in June. I think in June. If not this year, last year. I just know it was a while ago. What was that? Wearing jean shorts for a water yoga. Look, I found it funny that anytime that Lisa comes up with an activity to do, or she says she's great at it, she's the first one to fall or fumble. And she was the first one to fall into the water during paddleboard yoga. One of the things that Whitney brings up during this is that she says that based on her conversation with Cameron, which she got that information from Angie Harrington, whatever her name is, Angie. And she had that conversation. And one of the things that she took from that was that Mary does use the fear of God in order to influence her church. And she even referred to Mary as a predator. Those are some big words. And again, during her confessional, when she's speaking to the producers, Whitney won't speak on what Cameron said for the fear for her family. That's big. Can you imagine? First of all, Andy Cohen did just post, it's about that time. He's about to film the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion. So he's asking for your questions. So that's about to happen. How is Mary going to address these accusations during the reunion? The same way she addresses them now, in a way that we don't understand? Speaking of Mary, I literally watched Salt Lake City last night, and then I rewatched today. And this is exactly why I rewatch it, because I completely missed that moment when Mary Cosby gets on her phone, her intercom system, to call Robert Sr. And she's like, have you seen my Balmain jacket? And he's like, what? Like, what? And then she goes into emphasize the type of jacket. And he's like, I don't even know what that is. And then she's like, well, I'm going to this file lunch, whatever she says. And he's like, yeah, whatever. I guess the love is lost. My God. Let's get to this file lunch. This fire lunch is fire lunch, right? Because that's how Jenny pronounced it. So I'm assuming that's how you're supposed to pronounce it, even though it's spelled P-H-O-A, P-H-O, P-H-O. There we go. Was there ever a thrill? Erica's Mary better call Olivia Pope before this reunion, child. Onyx says they are just business partners, I guess, and roommates that had a kid. Oh, thank you, Chelsea. Mama Allie, yeah, Robert didn't seem interested in whatever she was saying. I mean, we are normally not that interested in whatever Mary's saying. Anyways, they have the lunch. Jenny is hosting the lunch. The food looked good. I like the atmosphere. Everyone looked great. Mary, well, not Mary. Meredith is annoyed. At first, she's having a great time with Jenny. Jenny invites Jen Shah to this. And Meredith is like, what did we talk about in Vale? If you're going to invite her, don't invite me. And Jenny's just like, I've invited everyone. The producers invited everyone. The producers invited everyone. Before they even go to this lunch, Jen Shah meets up with Heather and Whitney. They flash back to Whitney having a conversation with Jen Shah to get a better perspective. And look, I can appreciate Whitney and Heather being so authentic and really being ride or die friends for Jen Shah. Because look, we don't know what really happened when it comes to Jen Shah and her business. And as friends, I think as any of us that have friends, if we are accused of something, we would hope our friends wouldn't immediately think that we're guilty. I'm not friends with Jen Shah. I can think she's guilty all I want. Doesn't mean that she's going to jail based off the fact that I think she's guilty. But again, the biggest crime is this wig. The biggest crime is this wig she gave us in last night's episode. That's the big crime. Okay? That's the biggest crime ever. Guys, just a reminder for those that we have almost 600 people in the room. Be sure to like this video if you haven't liked it already. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. Let's get to 300 likes, and I will drop the call-in link so that you can call in and share your thoughts on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City episode. We're almost at the reunion. This was episode 14. Episode 14. Omar says, side note, why is everything only up to 3 hours like Whitney on the phone with Cameron, Heather bro on Zoom 3 hours? What's that about? See why it's important to have these conversations together? Because I didn't even realize that. You're right. Allie says, I get Meredith's attitude. I have people in town I don't want to see, but you're on a show with Jen. Suck it up, Buttercup. Well, look, I think Meredith understands, and Meredith also understands that I wouldn't be surprised if producers told her she had to be there. This is part of their job to have these big group events. And that's why Meredith stayed. If Meredith really wanted to leave and could leave technically, if she wants to get paid, I think Meredith would have left if she really didn't want to be there. Okay. So this turns into a whole situation because fast forwarding. So again, Whitney, Heather have a brief conversation with Jen before they all go to this lunch. And they're all being supportive of Jen and saying that they'll be there for her kids no matter what the turnout of the situation is. So they all gather. Jen Shah does arrive. But then it gets into this conversation. First of all, why did it take Mary Cosby so long to get to the table? It felt like, oh, there goes Mary. And it was like 5 minutes later before Mary made it to the table. Anyone else notice that? And that's all editing too, because you can imagine it probably took her even longer. Alim, thank you so much for the super chat. 1 day left till I can send messages. Happy Monday. What do you mean 1 day left? Thank you so much for the super chat. Okay. Omar says Mary lied. I mean, in defense of Mary, no, I'm not defending Mary at all. Okay. So Mary makes it to the table. The sidebar, the biggest conversation here is that everyone does not own what they may have said. And more notably, Mary Cosby doesn't own what she says. She literally lies to us and to Jen Shah, I didn't say anything about you. And everyone's like, what? And then they flash back, thank God for the editors, they flash back to everything that Mary Cosby said in Veil about Jen Shah being guilty. She believes it. The signs have always been there. But she's like, I didn't say one thing about you. I'm just thinking to myself, does Mary Cosby understand the assignment when it comes to just being kooky on television? Or did she really not remember saying it? Did she not remember saying it? Gustav says, I did like Mary questioning Jen. There was also that moment. Look, say what you want about Mary, and Mary referring to Jenny saying, I like your slanted eyes was inappropriate. And this is another week where Mary Cosby says something inappropriate and derogatory. Is she going to wait till next week to issue an apology, or did she issue one already? And then she brings it up again on next week's episode, saying, oh, but I like your slanted eyes. Look, I had to take a deep breath. But I have to give Mary I'm not giving her credit. She did make me laugh when she kept on saying to Jen Shah, because Jen Shah, first of all, said, I was never taken to jail. They complimented her on her outfit and her box braids. She says that she didn't know any of the names that they were bringing up when they were questioning her. And then Mary said to her, you didn't know any of it? You didn't know anyone? And then she swore on her parents, her father's life, her children. I was like, I don't know if I would want to do that. You don't need to do all that. But I loved it when Mary kept on going. It wasn't like Mary said it once. Mary said it like 3 or 4 times. You didn't know anything? Absolutely nothing? And Jen is like, no, I didn't. And then, of course, we have the moment where all the ladies, and honestly, I don't blame Meredith. This is the one time I could relate with Meredith. Everyone going back and forth screaming, no, this one said this thing, and you didn't say that, and blah, blah, blah. I was getting a headache watching it. So Meredith sitting there being quiet, seeing Lisa go off. There's a fight between Mary and Lisa. Then there's a fight between Jenny and Mary. And honestly, Jenny, look, you get a little annoying too, because you feel the only way you can be heard is by screaming, and that's annoying. That is annoying. I'm not defending Mary Cosby, but the only way that you feel like you can be number one is by yelling. And it's like, no. And I know everyone's celebrating Jenny today for stepping up to Mary Cosby. No. Look, no. Because I don't feel like she really did. To be honest with you. Philly Diva, what's going on? Philly Diva says, I'm over Jenny. I don't know if I'm over Jenny. I'm over definitely the sister wife storyline, but her stepping up to Mary Cosby, I don't feel like that was, look, if you've been watching Housewives for a very long time, we know when a housewife is a true housewife that comes back with a clever shade, that really defends herself. No, you yelling doesn't make a great legendary housewife. I appreciate her being the only one willing to step up to Mary Cosby. However, Jenny, girl, here's some black tourmaline. Take this, girl. You're gonna need this. Look, take some black tourmaline. You're gonna need it. You're gonna need it. Anyways. All right, where are we? Guys, we are almost at 250 likes. Let's get to 250 likes. I'll drop the call-in link. I do want to hear what you guys have to say about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, but you know what time it is. Let's get into this. Drop those Christmas trees, Santas, snowflakes. Happy holidays, guys. 12 Days of Christmas has come to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. We've given out some amazing, amazing gifts. Last night, we gave out some nail polish from a woman that created this business and is now featured on Oprah's favorite things for 2021. So if you missed that last night live, congratulations to all of the winners. Be sure to check out some of our past videos over the last few days. 12 Days of Christmas is winding down. 12 Days of Christmas ends this week. Happy holidays to everyone that's celebrating. I hope that you guys will take the time to be with your families, to rest, to relax, to rejuvenate, to get into some holiday spirit, watch a Christmas movie, whatever it is that you do for the holidays. I hope you get into it. I am loving giving back to you, our subscribers, this month in a really, really great way. And I'm excited about today's giveaway. Let's get into the giveaway. Okay, hold on. Let me pull up what I want to. Oh, damn, I should have got a drum roll. Do I have a drum roll? No. Nope. Damn, I need a drum roll. Next time. I'm excited about today's giveaway. Today, we are giving away a KitchenAid blender. First of all, I love KitchenAid. It's one of my favorites. You know, anything when it comes to kitchenware, KitchenAid has been around for a very, very long time. We gave away the cordless hand mixer last week. Today, we are giving away their K150 3-speed ice crushing blender. The key features: crush ice in less than 10 seconds, optimally designed speeds for your perfect blend, soft start features, starts at the right speed, IntelliSpeed motor control for optimal speed. Unlock more possibilities with your blender. This KitchenAid blender has a value of $100. $100, and I'm excited to give it away to you, our audience. But as you know, we do an automated system here. That way I have no involvement, no prejudice. This is all random through our friends over at Nightbot. Let's get into it. Let's see who's going to win today. We're gonna roll it. Guys, if you haven't liked the video already, like the video. Thank you for supporting the channel. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. We will drop the call-in links for you guys to call in to talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Right now, we are doing our 12 days of giveaways, 12 days of Christmas here. That is exclusively here on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. So if you want to be a part, make sure that you've subscribed. All right? All right, let's see. Data said great for cocktails. Why do I always see Data's shady comments? I always catch Data's shady comments. Thank you, Delsenia. Guys, let's get to 300 likes and I'll drop the call-in link. But let's first pick our winner. All right, and I'm going to hit the roll it. Marcus Hughley. Marcus, are you in the chat? Marcus Hughley. Marcus Hughley is the winner of our KitchenAid blender. Someone said perfect for salsa. Jeanette. Rasani said, pick me. Is Marcus in the building? Let's give Marcus an opportunity to come in here. Marcus Hughley, you have won our giveaway. Johnny, calm down over there. Let's give him a moment. So look, people step away. We had a big situation, not a big situation, I'm being dramatic, where we had moved on too quickly. Let's give Marcus a moment. Marcus, you have won today. Marcus, we need you to claim it in the chat. Just to make sure that you're still here. I'm assuming he's still here because people are able to tag him, and this means you've been active. Marcus, let's give Marcus a moment, guys. And for those that are joining, I'm going to drop the call-in link so you can call in. Thank you so much, Delsenia. All right, Marcus, do me a favor. Email us at giveaways@thekempire.com. Again, giveaways@thekempire.com. Please email us your information, your name, your address, your username, all of that, so that we can send you your blender. Congratulations. So excited that we're able to do this. And we do have more giveaways coming later this week. So stay tuned for that. Thank you, Data. Yes, there we go. All right, let's drop the call in link. And for those that are asking how you can be a part of our 12 days of giveaways, you just have to be a subscriber. You have to be active in the live chat. You have to be active in the live chat so that we're able to pick you from the automated system. There we go. Data, shut up. I can't. Let me drop this call in link because, guys, we are talking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and I have dropped the link. Let me go here so I can pin it. All right, let's replace that and close that, close that. All right. All right, back to this. So the ladies are going back and forth, and this back and forth is not just between one or two ladies. There's a back and forth between Jen and well, not Jen. Jen Shah is sort of, woe is me. You guys are making this all about you. Why did you invite me to this? Jenny goes back and forth with Mary. Mary and Lisa go back and forth. Jenny at one point says, you can leave. And Mary gets up and goes. Then Jen Shah gets up from the table. And then they have their own conversation. Then we have that infamous moment where Mary says to Jen Shah, I pray to God that you're guilty. I mean, innocent. Why did I say that? And then one point, Meredith and Lisa's friendship gets tested a lot this season. And at one point, Lisa is like, first of all, Lisa makes it, I have PTSD from your arrest. She has PTSD from Jen Shah's arrest. But at one point, she begs Meredith to stay. Please stay if you're my friend. Stay for me. Stay for me. Lola says, Freudian slip. Must have been. Jenna says, Mary says she wanted to backhand Jenny. Look, to be honest with you, I like the fact that Jenny stood up to Mary because no one else will. However, Jenny, I liked you in the beginning, but the most that I love about you is your kid, Carlin. She's annoying. The yelling, I got a headache during that scene. That wasn't entertaining. That wasn't entertaining. We've seen people like in Potomac, yes, they'll start yelling, but at least they're saying something funny or clever, and you're like, we didn't get that from this back and forth between the ladies. It was just yelling. Anyways, we already have a long line backstage. Let's take a couple of callers, guys. Judgy Justice, I'm going to bring you up. And for those that are just joining us, be sure to like the video if you haven't already. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. And be sure to check out the description of this video for some of the other news in relation to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City that you might have missed last week. Judgy Justice, what's going on?
I'm not Judgy Justice. I'm Marcus. I'm here to claim the blender.
I can't stand you.
I really enjoyed the
Marcus, you already have not followed the rules.
But all in all, I thought like it's a good episode for how young this cast is still. They're still developing their own rhythm. I think those, quick, arguments are going to get better. I just think that Jenny's just not there yet argumentatively. I think she gets like the emotion, she gets the she gets everything else, but she just doesn't get what to say to make it a substantial conversation. That's the thing. Like she doesn't get like, this is like honestly, all of this is a joke in a sense. This is reality TV. So you got to make it a little bit funny. You got to make it a little truth, in it. So I think as time goes on, she'll get better. Or at least I'm hoping for their city's sake, because they're down a cast member because she's doing 10 to 20. So
can we believe that someone's innocent until proven guilty?
I've already said this so many times, Kempire. Literally, if everybody who knows you have turned you in, and you're not going down easily. You may get off on a technicality, but they can bring them charges right back up again. So I just don't have any hopes that Jen Shah is going to be on our screens anytime soon after this. Like it's gonna, because honestly, I if I was her legal team, I would advise her not to even finish, not even to do the show, because then they're literally going back and calculating just the way they're doing with, you know, Blondie over there. I forget her name right now, but it's pregnancy brain guy. Sorry, I can't think about it. I'm sorry, but all in all, it was a good episode. I was pretty entertained. Because I don't really watch Salt Lake City as it flows into Portia, but I actually found myself coming back in to watch it, and then I was like, it was actually a really good show overall. I think we're adding, we're trying to rate them on the scale of like everybody else who's had 15 seasons and they're on season 2. So I think, for season 2, that's pretty good.
Right.
All righty, guys. Bye.
So much for calling in. Bye. All right. I'm going to bring up Rastani because I want to get through some of these calls, guys. We will be going live a little bit later on today to get your reaction to the Real Housewives of New Jersey season 12 trailer. I've already posted a quick under a minute recap of it on my TikTok, right? TikTok, you guys got to see it first. Thank you so much for tapping your screens and for being here and being a part of the conversation and sharing the live. All right. Rastani, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Rastani?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. I will have to agree with Judgy that for season 2, they're doing well. Regardless of the fact that, it's the Jen Shah, all the Shah-ness, because, they're holding their own with or without Jen Shah's storyline. When I said in the chat, I thought this was Salt Lake City, not New Jersey. No shade, Jersey people. Please don't come for me. What I was what I was referring to, it's like, oh, everybody's afraid of Mary. Everybody's afraid of Mary. What is she, the Godfather? What? That's what I'm used to with Teresa. Teresa loves to reference the Godfather and loyalty. And is she the Godfather? Why is everybody afraid of Mary? Separate and apart from that, I do think it was a pretty good, solid episode. I'm going to have to rewatch it to just get into the individual arguments, because I was mostly entertained by Heather and Whitney just sitting back and, like eating the popcorn and it's like, look at the show.
Mom and dad are fighting. You're right.
But it's like, okay. I'm curious, and I don't know if anyone has seen or known or have any idea what's really going on between Meredith and Lisa. For the simple fact that Lisa and Meredith, they've been friends for like 10 years or something like that, she said, right?
Yep.
Mary, I'm assuming Meredith just met her last season or when they filmed last season.
Yeah, I don't think it's been as long as her friendship with Lisa.
I don't understand why Meredith is writing so hard for Mary and not for her friend.
But the same can be said about Lisa and how she wrote hard for Jen Shah.
Oh yes. Sorry, it's all coming back to me now. Sorry. And I don't even have pregnancy brain. My bad. It's it's a tit for tat. It's a tit for tat. I get it. Are we by Mark's blazer?
No.
I'm like, really? That's what we spent all day doing? Okay. But that's all I got to say for now. I have to rewatch it. Talk to you later, Cam. Have a happy holiday if I don't talk to you before.
You too. All right, let's get to some more calls. The backstage is full, so callers, we don't need to go through the entire episode. We does the biggest points that you want to talk about. But before we do that, we have almost 700 people in the room. Be sure to like the video if you haven't liked it already. Subscribe to the channel because you're getting daily and consistent content, except Christmas. I might take Christmas off, but you never know. If there's a breaking story, y'all, no, I'm playing. I want you all to enjoy your holiday, okay? Look, Josie, I'm going to bring you up for a quick comment. What's going on, Josie?
Hello, Kempire. Good afternoon to you.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing all right.
That's good. Oh, Merry Christmas. I almost forgot. It's Merry Christmas. And it's Jesus' birthday. I'm always forgetting that part.
Oh.
But I do have to say in this episode, I just feel like Lisa is just self-observed. Like she does not like understand like it's not just about you. No, that wig got me though. That wig, I was like, girl, no, we gotta like sort that out. Like, girl, no, what are you doing with that? No, but I do have to say, I'm not a wig expert, but I think I can do better than that. I mean, sorry, but like, no. Like I said before, Lisa was just too much. Like, girl, you gotta like let Mary talk. Like, be quiet. Just don't say anything. And then she was like, "Oh, if it's not about me, everyone's saying Lisa, Lisa." Like, girl, you insert yourself. No one was talking to you, and she was like saying, "Oh, Jenny, oh God." She was just too much. Like, girl, like she was just loud and all. It's like, girl, we don't need like you can calm your voice down and like not say anything. I think the reasonable person on that table was Marina. Because she was just looking at them like, what the fuck is going on? Because like they're all like arguing about who says the worst thing about someone who doesn't really care much about them. It's like it was too much. But I do have to say, I don't understand what Jen Shah was like. It's the last day of Ramadan. And last time we saw her, she was eating lunch with who? Heather? I was like, girl, you can't be fasting when you're eating lunch. I don't get it.
Good point. I didn't even
I was
realize
like, so
that.
you were eating lunch and you're fasting? I didn't get that. I did not get that. I was like, okay, I see you. I see what you're doing. And yeah, but I do.
That out. I forgot about that.
But I do like I said, I do feel like Jenny is not like everyone have so much stuff going on. Her storyline is just it's flopping. It's just like it's not needed no more. Like the sister wife is too much. It's like we know that's fake. We already know that's not true. So there's no point. Like we need something else. Like she needs to like catch up with everyone else. Because everyone is have something much better going on than a sister wife. Because we already know that her husband is obviously not gonna get a sister wife. We already know that. It's like
and we already know that it's not legal in Utah. What he said was incorrect.
exactly. So it's like, girl, no, you're not getting a sister wife. Get some like girl, you gotta bring more to the table than that. Like if she was to come next season, I hope she brings something more. Cause do you want her to come next season though?
I'm on the fence.
You're on the fence.
All right, Josie,
Okay.
I gotta let you go because we have such a long line back.
Thank you very much, Kempire.
Thank you so much for calling in. All right, Danielle, what's going on?
Hey there, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Oh, yeah, it's Monday.
Okay, real quick. Jen, Coach, the whole thing with the practicing of the religion was definitely, like you said, to give her a better view or to make her look like she's so angelic. And oh, that wig is horrible. That wig looked like something from the 1960s. I'm expecting her to have a
little part. She got that part realness, though. You seen the little part realness?
I see where she plucked it out to make it look real. It's okay. But oh, shucks, you made me forget my thought. Okay, let me keep going in. Do you notice how anytime, well, I agree with everyone when they say Lisa always cuts into the conversation or cuts them off where they're talking, start talk. But if you pay attention or notice, she only does that when she thinks it might gear towards exposing her for something she said. It's like she wants to stop the conversation before someone calls her out on her stuff. So she kind of interrupts or starts saying her 2 cents. And she's such a Karen. She always has to make it about her when she begged Meredith to stay for me, stay for me. It's not always about you, Lisa. And if you stop lying about stuff, we won't even have to have these conversations all the time. Cut it out. And I didn't like, as much as I like Heather and Whitney, I did not like how Heather sat there. She said, I'm just sitting here quietly. You can't sit there quietly and not say anything. You have to speak up sometimes. And I think that's the one thing about being a true friend. A real friend calls you out when you're wrong. And that's something Whitney does it, but in the moment, in the heat of the moment, she really wasn't speaking up. or she could have been kicking Heather under the table, like, "Hey, I'm up here putting my neck out. You need to stick up and say."
Wait. Just adding another yelling voice to that conversation wouldn't have helped that conversation or made that
You're right.
more productive.
But when Mary, you're absolutely right. So not necessarily yelling, but when Mary turned to Heather and specifically asked Heather a question, Heather sat there with her head looking down.
Because that was her Mary Cosby, the one that was throwing her under the bus and making her feel bad in Vail.
I get that, but are you more concerned about being scared of Mary? And to your point, in Vail, Heather was sticking up or standing up to Mary, trying to be honest about everything. But here was a prime opportunity where Mary was actually pretending to be attentive, because she literally turned to Heather and asked her a question, and Heather missed the opportunity to say her piece when she had Mary's undivided. Because in Vail, Heather didn't have Mary's attention. Mary was yelling, Heather was yelling. It just became the wrong thing. It became a big thing. But I felt like that was an opportune time for Heather to say something, and she didn't. And I was looking for her to speak up. I'm actually enjoying Jenny. I agree with everyone else. The storyline of the sister wife is not working. But I like the fact that she spoke up. She stood up to Mary. She told Mary, "Yes, you're lying. This. It is her first season, so we don't know if we don't know what her storyline could be next season. Maybe it's her talking about her niece on TikTok that's outing her. Who knows what it could be? But we know that we might be losing Jen. I think Jen talking about that $50,000 a month. I'm wondering if she meant that's what she pays them, because she says she's employing them. So that's how I took that. And when she kept screaming, "I don't know these people." Of course you don't know the people you stole from. That's not what they were asked. Of course you don't recognize the name. You're paying $100 for a list of 100,000 names. You don't know that. So yeah, you might be telling a piece of the truth of saying you don't know them, but you know that you robbed them. You might not know them personally. You know their names, but you know you use their information to sell off to whatever your little scheme was. Like, come on, Jen, cut it out. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Danielle's now doing an OB. Bye-bye and click out. Okay. All right, guys, we have a long line backstage. So those that are coming up now, brief, to the point. Let's get through this, because I'm going to go live in a couple of hours to recap the Real Housewives of, I'm about to say Orange County, of New Jersey trailer. We're going to go live again so that you guys can talk about this recap. Well, this trailer that we got. There's about a little bit over 2 minutes. We're going to talk about it, and you're going to have an opportunity to call in and share your thoughts. But if you're watching the recap, or the recap of this Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, be sure to let me know your thoughts, how you would rate it. Live chat, let me know how you would rate last night's episode, a jumbo episode, from 1 to 10. All right, Philly Diva, I'm going to bring you up. And that Sunshine. What's going on, Philly Diva? You're muted. Oh, she done took herself out. All right, Philly Diva, we'll come back to you in a second. Chelsea, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Chelsea?
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good. So this episode was good. Jen's wig was not. That was horrible. I don't know what was going on with that wig, but I just wanted to call in to kind of talk about Mary, and her. I'm just gonna call it how I see it: racism. I am Black, but I am mixed with Japanese. So I can kind of speak from both sides. Mary's comments about slanted eyes are based in racist stereotypes. That would be like if Heather walked up and said to Mary, "Oh my gosh, I love your big lips. They're just so big." Or she said, "Oh my gosh, I love your big nose," or anything else that Mary doesn't have either of those things. But I'm saying anything else that's a stereotype. We would say automatically, I know I would be like, "Heather, that was racist. And Andy, what are you doing putting this in the show?" Heather needs to at least get reprimanded, at least, or something needs to happen. Not kicked off, but something needs to happen. So I'm really tired of people in the chat, on Twitter, whatever, saying, "Oh, well, it's her age, or she's sheltered, or this or that," because there's no excuse for what she said. She called Mexicans thugs. That's just like Donald Trump coming down the stairs and saying they're racist, rapists, thugs, all that.
Weeks ago she said that.
So it's the same racist language over and over, and I really want for people to stop making excuses. I get it, guys. I get we always root for everything Black. I get it. I get why we do that. This is not a case of a Black person being ganged up on because they just felt like doing it. It's because her language is so inappropriate and racist that it needs to be addressed. And I really need for Andy to not let this slide during the reunion. I need for the girls. How could any of those girls sit there and not even say anything to Mary about that? I know people were mad at Jenny for saying, oh, well, you know, I would hit her or whatever. But I know that, I mean, I'm Black. I know that when I hear white people, any people who's not Black say the N word, I know a lot of Black people who would be like, I feel like I'm about to fight. So we can't be mad at Jenny for saying that whenever what was said to her was racist. Like, you guys, I just really want for us to hold Mary accountable. Like I said, I truly get, you know, we got to root for everything Black, but this is just ridiculous. I do want to know though. I do want to know though, Kempire. I know I'm over my 2 minutes, but what do you think should happen as far as this language is concerned? Since you kind of have the inside knowledge, what do you think should happen?
Well, I definitely think that it needs to be addressed. This is the second time in less than 2 weeks, and then she brings it up again next week. Look, just because Mary Cosby is Black doesn't mean that she is, untouchable in regards to being called out for prejudice things that she says on the show. It definitely needs to be addressed. It'll be interesting to see how they address it or how it's handled. Will it be handled the same way that they handled Ramona and the accusations against her?
Exactly. And I do have one more question. I'm sorry. Do you think that Mary should come back next season?
Look, that's a good question. I want to see how the rest of the season plays out, and also how she addresses these very ignorant comments that she's made. Because I don't necessarily, I'm not from the idea that we need to immediately fire people,
right?
Because we want them to address and learn. But if it becomes consistent, like we've seen with Ramona, it's like you haven't learned and you're refusing to learn because they prop you up because of the ignorant things that you said. But Bravo has been inconsistent over the entire network in regards to how they handle people that say prejudiced things or racist things on the show. They fire one person and then they protect another. So they're very inconsistent.
I want to see next week because Jenny was in her face. They were saying these are inappropriate. And she's saying, oh, I love your slanted eyes. Like, it's like, Mary, are you going to learn? Are you going to make us have to want you off the show? Are you going to learn and change your ways? Like, so I'm sorry. I know I went over my 2 minutes. I love your show, like I said, and keep up the good work. Have a good holidays, and I will talk to you later.
You too. Thank you, Chelsea, for calling in. It was a conversation that we needed to have, and I'm glad you brought it up.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Miss Philly Diva, I'm going to bring you up. Let's see. Here we go.
Can we hear me now? Am I on it?
Yeah.
All right. Yes. The last caller, she actually brought up the topic I wanted to talk about. I was mortified when she said slanty eye. That just, to me, that is the equivalent of somebody saying, oh, can I touch your hair? Like, and had, somebody said that to Mary, or when she mentioned her wig, well, what do you do with your hair under that? Like, you know what I mean? Those type of microaggressions that Black women are used to getting, like, how dare you say that to her? Even if you said almond-shaped eyes, like, that's a universal term that does, imply, to somebody of a more Asian descent, but everybody has almond-shaped eyes. That's not so much racial, but a descriptive of what she probably meant, but it still sounded racist as fuck. Sorry, but it still sounded, hella like. And then the Mexican, I say this, and this is a little bit of veil behind, my curtain. She talks like my grandfather, and it may be because she's married to a grandfather, and. No, but he's the type of man who still says Oriental, and he pronounces it Puerto Ricans, and he's again, a lot of you who've seen me on these channels, I'm very, very open and very accepting So when I see something, I have to say something. She's very older in her, she's an old queen, you know, and I know she's, you know, close to my age, but, you know, because again, she's married to her grandfather. She lives in a house like my grandma's house looked like it's very dated.
Yeah.
And I am not giving her a pass on what she said. I think it was, you know, reprehensible, and Bravo absolutely needs to hold her accountable for a lot of what she said this season, you know, and honestly, for the 7-Eleven comments she made last season, like, she's problematic, you know, this isn't her saying things, because Mary doesn't strike me as somebody who just says things. Ramona oftentimes, you know, she says things, you know, a lot of that is who she is, but she says things for the shock value. And I don't get that from Mary. I get that she's very genuine and she's very truthful in what she believes. I'm not saying that she's telling the truth. I'm saying she's very truthful in what she believes. So, you know, you can believe a lie wholeheartedly. You can present that lie and live in that lie wholeheartedly. Yeah. It doesn't make it true to the outside world looking at. So I in Mary's one, I pray that she's guilty. I mean, innocent, you know. She is who she is, and she really doesn't make any apology of it when somebody shows you who they are, you know, kind of accept it. I think that Bravo really needs to hold her accountable. It has nothing to do with her church, you know, it has nothing to do with getting people to give you hundreds of thousands of dollars and then wearing that and parading that on the show without paying taxes for it. You know, I'm not saying any of that, but she either needs to, you know, kind of look in the mirror, do some self-reflecting, and that can be her story next season, you know, because other than being married to her grandfather and, you know, stealing from the church, what is she bringing? I mean, she's bringing the shade. None of these other girls really know how to read. Yeah. Mary brings the comedic shade, but she brings no storyline. And she really, you know, the way Robert Singer talks to her, he talks to her like a granddaughter. Like, their dynamic, bring more of that dynamic if you're going to show you marrying to your grandfather. Hey, see? So do you really want her on your show? Your look said it all. Like, your look says it all.
That's why I said I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Like, she brings that great comedic shade, but with that, you also get her very problematic statements on race. You know, she really, it's a very cringy relationship between her and her step grandfather / husband. And I guess with that, you know, kind of story with her son and the younger girl, you know, that case, are we going to see that? Because that didn't play out. Like, we never saw this girl in her house. I'm sure she was there when the cameras were on because her parents said she was going for dates. Yeah. So what are we really getting from Mary?
Yeah. All right. I gotta go because I
know. I'm over my time and I actually have to work.
Bye, Philly Diva. All right, Miss Bernice, I'm going to bring you up for a quick comment. What's going on, Miss Bernice?
Hey, Kempire. I had to see your dimples today. Thank you so much. Two things. When it came on and Meredith was having a little luncheon for Lisa and Jenny, and her assistant, he was just gorgeous and helping her with her thing. And I'm looking at, then they show Brooks. I'm looking at the assistant. That was Brooks last season. Brooks didn't look like he went through a conversion therapy. I mean, because when the camera showed them from head to toe, I'm looking at him like, that's not stylish at all. Where is the free spirited, you know, like he was all into fashion and everything, you know, like
you didn't like Brooks's outfit?
Heck to the no. And that blazer, really? Really? Okay. Meredith. Remember I told you this is fairy tale. Now the Queen of Hearts didn't have no friend. Ergo, Meredith don't have no friend. You know, and Lisa trying to be this ride or die for Meredith. Other than Lisa, who do Meredith associate with? Think about it.
Mary Cosby?
That's the only one. And you got to go deep to the barrel to have Mary as a friend. Come on now. And for Mary to contradict herself, How you gonna throw the finger at Jen telling her, well, you stole money from seniors, so do you. Your congregation is is predominantly seniors and poor people. Come on now, you doing the same darn thing she doing. So don't try to be up here like you holier than thou, and Jen is somebody low. And you talking about that lady so bad, and then you're gonna sit like, I didn't say anything. And I'm looking, and Jen was sitting there, and she said, okay, I'm gonna let it go. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing. And then she kept saying, well, I didn't say anything about you. And she was like, Papa, that's all I can stand. I can't stand no more. And she just popped. How you gonna sit up here and say you didn't say anything when you talked about this lady like she wasn't nothing?
No. And they flash back to it.
Right. Like, come on now. You know what Mary is? Mary is that couple on the street, that kids couldn't play around the house because she always coming out the door yelling at you, get off my lawn. Be quiet, be quiet. That's Mary. She's in her own world. And the reality has nothing to do with Mary. Because Mary going to say and do what she want, and she don't care. And Bravo need to call her on the board for this, because I'm sorry, she not invited to my cookout. She's not my part of my family. I'm sorry. No.
Does she even know what a cookout is?
No. And for the fact when she called her husband to ask him to bring his coat, he's saying like, okay, which coat? You got a whole closet full of coats. Be a little more specific. Instead of describing the coat, you're going to say the designer name. We're talking about a man. He don't care about no labels. What color is it, lady?
You could have sworn that he literally had the coat right before this scene was filmed.
Exactly. And like her she has no sense. When you look at the house alone, each room is like going into a different kingdom. One don't match the other. There's no flow. Definitely. I'm looking like that's Mary. I ain't saying she's schizophrenic, but she got some characteristics of someone who is. Cause But I'm looking forward to next week. But I wish people would just tell her, just stand up to it. You ain't got to be afraid of her. Mary ain't nobody. Just tell her she wrong. And stop, holding her like she gonna be a volcano and erupt. No.
I guess she's the only one that's standing up to her right now is Jenny. Yeah.
Because Jenny about tired of it. You have pretty slanted eyes. Really? Really, Mary? When she said that, I'm looking like, no, the heck she didn't. Why, of all things that you want to say, you said slanted eyes? Okay, go back in your time warp. I can't take you. Go back in your time warp.
Miss Bernice, I appreciate you calling in.
Okay, kiddo.
Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Guys, thank you so much for being here. First of all, thank you to everyone that sent in a super chat. Thank you to our subscribers. Thank you to our Team Kempire and Royal Court members. If you'd like to become a member of the channel, head on over to TheKempire.com. And of course, thank you to our moderators for allowing us to have a fun conversation in the chat. And I appreciate everyone being a part of the chat. Congratulations to our winner, Marcus, for winning the KitchenAid blender that we gave away earlier today. Again, Marcus, be sure to email us at giveaways@thekempire.com. And again, for those that have not emailed us to confirm their prize, if we don't get a reply in the next couple of days, we're just going to have to bring the prize back and give it to someone else, because we can't just have it sitting here. Just saying. But I think the majority of people have gotten back to us. All right. Anyways, let's get out of here. I'll be back to talk about the Real Housewives of New Jersey trailer that drops. We have to talk about it, and you will have an opportunity to have that conversation with me in just a couple of hours. See you guys a little bit later on. Let's get out of here.